Welcome to On the Move.
Okay, so moving forward here, let's talk about security. This is going to be a pretty long conversation because this is a huge topic. All right, so first things first, there's no sense in getting anything else if you don't have the means to defend it, okay? But this is an easy topic to go overboard on, and perhaps I might even be going overboard on the presentation of the security. I know this is a 101, but I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible to follow, okay? So, most crimes are actually deterred from the mere presence of a firearm, but it's important that you only pull your weapon if you're prepared to use it. It doesn't serve you any good to pull a weapon, and if somebody doesn't believe that you're capable or willing to use that weapon can only be used at that point against you. It may be used as a deterrent and they may run away, but you're putting yourself at risk. It's also important to make sure that you don't pull your firearm unless you absolutely have to use it. And the situation that you should do that is if you're going to lose your life, your property, or someone's going to get seriously hurt if you don't. So keep that in mind. It's not something that should be pulled and used any time that you feel the need. It's critical that you do that. These are basic firearm safety rules I'm giving you right now, but I shouldn't be the one that should have to say it. Feel free, and I highly recommend anybody who buys a firearm, go through a basic firearm safety course and learn your weapon. Learn it. Understand how to use it. Practice it. It is so important that you have muscle memory when you're using weapons, because in a high intensity, high stress situation, you lose a lot of your dexterity. And if you're trying to figure out and remember how to load your gun or unload your gun while you're taking fire, you're not going to be functioning very well. It's going to be very difficult for you to accomplish even just simple tasks. Anyway, so I would highly recommend that you have a firearm for every member of your group, and basically members who will need one. If you have a small child or something, you don't need a gun for them, but anybody who plans on having a gun. And I recommend 100 rounds for each weapon, all right? And you can look at that as a week's supply of ammunition, all right? You can opt for less rounds per week if you like, but this is what I prefer. At 52 weeks out of the year, 100 rounds per individual for the week. That's 5,200 rounds per year. That may be a bit excessive, but only you can decide what your needs are. So, in my opinion, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So, this is just where I'm coming from. So, the real question now is, and by the way, before I even get into this, you may not even be a firearm person. So, you may be somebody who's, for lack of a better word, a tree-hugging liberal or something like that doesn't like guns or whatever, and that's fine. Hey, to each their own. I'm not telling you this is the only way to prep, but this is the way I do. So, you can do whatever you want. If you want to get a baseball bat or if you want to kill them with kindness, that's on you. If you think that, and if you think firearms aren't the answer and you want to go old school with like a bow and arrow and, hand-to-hand combat, go right ahead. Be my guest. But I'm not going to be doing that as a first and primary way of doing things, maybe as a last resort. So now the question is, what type of firearm should you get?